Did you know that there are a total of 114 curse techniques in the whole of the Jujutsu Kaisen series? These techniques are so unique and strong that they make the anime one of a kind. So in this video, we're going to explain every single curse technique, and it gets stronger as we reach toward the end. Subscribe to the channel before we start, because this one's gonna be super interesting. An innate technique is a special ability that a sorcerer is born with. It is so unique that it almost never overlaps with different sorcerers. Here are all the innate techniques in Jujutsu Kaisen. Nobara Kugisaki possesses this technique, and it allows her to use her hammer, nails, and straw doll in combat. She does this by flowing her cursed energy through her equipment. Nobara can launch nails from long range and detonate them. She can also use her straw doll like a voodoo doll to deal damage to her opponent's body. Sukuna's shrine can be divided into two types of slashing attacks. The first one is Dismantle, which allows him to instantly destroy his targets from a long distance. The other one is Cleave, which can be adjusted with cursed energy to cut tougher opponents in a single slash by simply touching them. This technique is used by Jogo, and it is based on the natural disaster of volcanoes. This innate technique gives him the leverage to manipulate lava and mix it up with his pyrokinetic abilities. This technique is owned by Hanami, who can freely manipulate and use cursed plants and wood-based attacks to destroy his targets. While plants cannot embrace cursed energy, Hanami simply absorbs their life force to create his cursed attack by converting it into life-ending energies. Nanami's ratio technique divides his targets with 10 lines, creating a weak spot at the ratio point of 7:3. He can choose which part to divide into ratios, including the subject's head, torso, arms, and legs, and we see this in his battle against Mahito from time to time. Mahito's annoying technique is called Idle Transfiguration. This ability grants him the power to warp the shape of souls. He can change the shape of his own body or anyone he touches. Momo Nishimiya uses this technique to manipulate any tool. For example, she uses a broom to look like a little witch, flying atop and attacking the enemies from different angles. This includes Momo using her broom to create strong gusts of cursed energy wind, which she did against Nobara, totally shocking. Mai Zenzen uses construction, and it uses a large amount of cursed energy to create objects from literally nothing. She often creates an extra bullet with her limit, which is once per day, and coupled with her excellent shooting abilities, she kills her opponents. Aoi Todo claps his hands and can interchange his position with anyone. The trigger is his clap, and he can switch within the effective range of his techniques, which is anything that possesses cursed energy above a certain level. This technique is called Boogie Woogie. The old man Gakuganji uses his sound amplifier technique, which includes a guitar with a literal amplifying device, launching waves of cursed energy. This can disrupt the enemy's movements while also overwhelming them to surrender. Both Eso and Kechizu use the Rot technique to manipulate their own blood. Their blood is highly corrosive, killing anything and everything. Muta's puppet manipulation technique allows him to easily control numerous cursed corpse puppets remotely. He doesn't need to be present to attack his enemies. Coupled with his heavenly resurrection technique, he can spread it over a wide range of controlling multiple puppets all across the country. The cursed spirit manipulation is Suguru Geto's ability that gives him complete control over the conquered cursed spirits. If the difference in the grade of conquered spirits is 2 or more, he can absorb them with no special conditions. Master Tengen's immortality is unique because it grants them eternal life without actually stopping the aging process. The Mag Mask cursed user can create 5 of his clones and can also change his body with any of the clones, making him difficult to track and kill. Kenjaku's anti-gravity system is a powerful technique that allows him to transfer his brain into another person. From the next person's memories to their innate techniques and cursed energy, he gains complete control. This cursed technique was used by Takuma Ino, a seance technique that allowed him to become a spiritual medium by hiding his face with a mask. He can summon 4 auspicious beasts called Reiki, Kirin, Kaiichi, and Ryu, while also using their abilities. When Asawaka's inverse is activated, the strong attacks become weak, while weak attacks become stronger. However, the maximum and minimum amount of damage is limited. Granny Ogami can summon the body or soul of a deceased person and use their corpse to shapeshift. Mei Mei uses Blackbird technique to control crows and see whatever they see. This is why she is often sent on a mission to uncover something mysterious. Dagon's technique gives him the ability to summon and control large volumes of water at will. He can trap non-sorcerers and then inhale all the water to consume his target. Nanako's curse technique allows her to manipulate the photography of whatever subject she captures and the image of it. She can use it to move herself or the other person from one area to another. However, this process can tire her quickly. Mimiko's technique allows her to hand her targets to death using a noose and a doll. Just like voodoo magic, whatever she does to the doll will be done to the actual bodies. She could kill 3 Jujutsu High managers with ease using this technique. Haruta Shigenmo uses miracles and can only use this curse technique when his life is in danger. This allows him to increase his luck and survive even with the most fatal blows. Arata uses painkiller manipulation to stop wounds from getting worse. While he cannot reverse the amount of damage that has been done, he can go ahead and stop bleeding and dull pain. Uraume uses ice formation to produce low temperatures from her body. This way she can generate and manipulate large amounts of ice, making her one of the most lethal fighters in the series. The Blazing Courage technique used by Oji Zenin grants him a katana with scorching flame, and it even imitates the blade's cutting abilities. Chojuro creates gigantic stone hands using earth manipulation. He can drop heavy weights on his opponents, completely crushing them. Ranta's technique is Paralyzing Gaze, which allows him to immobilize anyone whom he sets his eyes on. This was seen in his battle against Maki Zenin, but if anyone can break free from his gaze, it would cause major damage to Ranta's eyes. Junichi Zenin uses missile fists and produces huge fists that are backed by cursed energy. His physical stats go through the roof, allowing him to deal area-wide damage. Kira's curse technique creates 5 stars to target cursed energy itself. It is a deadly attack, but in order to mark something, she must make physical contact with someone's cursed energy. By using her curse technique, Hanya changes the shape of her air into a jet plane, giving her fast speeds to drive someone through buildings without them even realizing it. Haba uses the helicopter hair curse technique, which turns his hair into a helicopter propeller, which allows him to fly, and he can even freely adjust the angle, length, and even the rotation speed of the wings. Hiromi's Judgment possesses a curse technique that allows him to summon a large Shikigami with a black body that has 3 stubble points. Then he prosecutes his enemy by earning a final verdict from the judgment. Regi's curse technique allows him to manifest objects and services written on contracts like receipts. This makes him annoyingly strong. Hazunoki can make his self-detached body parts into bombs to create large explosions. Chizuru Hari can turn the fingers of his left hand into claws that can unlock impact upon attack. His battle with Megumi showed us he is a dangerous level opponent. Remy uses her hair in battle while freely controlling it to sting people with its sharp tip. Her ability is called the Scorpion Hair. Fumihiko Takaba uses the Comedian Curse technique, which allows him to manifest whatever he thinks is funny into reality. If he loses all confidence, he would deactivate his curse technique, making him strong yet super vulnerable. Takago's sky manipulation allows her to control the sky by turning into tangible surfaces. Anything that is caught within the surface can be distorted without being physically harmed. Ryu's cursed energy discharge takes his high cursed energy output and then creates directed blasts that he can always fire at will. Yuta uses Copy, which allows him to use other sorcerers' innate techniques. This is done because he has Rika possess the part of their bodies, and then he can access their techniques by fully manifesting her. Charles Bernard uses a spear-type curse tool with a drawing pen tip, allowing him to see the future of whoever he cuts with it. Kinji's Pachinko-themed domain is applied through his domain expansion, where you can summon the visual indicator of the Pachinko game outside and inside the domain. Yuki's Star Rage allows her to add virtual mass to herself and Garuda, increasing their destructive power and mostly winning the battles. This technique is used by the angel, and it can nullify any and all curses. It doesn't just affect the cursed, but also the cursed techniques, barriers, cursed objects, and incarnations as well. Utahime can create a zone around her that enhances her or another willing sorcerer's cursed energy, capacity, and output. The cursed technique's efficiency can be increased to 120%. Hajime can transform his body in order to manifest any phenomena related to electricity. He can convert electricity from cursed energy, surpassing the limits of a human and creative destructive abilities. Larue's Heart Catch creates a floating hand that can grab targets from a distance. He can then attack them efficiently. Miguel uses Prayer Song, which allows him to expel curses and augment his physical abilities by dancing to a beat. Amai's technique allows him to amplify his sugar level and transform the excess sugar into physical form. He can also fuse this technique with the sugar, but it causes him to experience hypoglycemia. Inherited techniques. These are inherited techniques passed down through the same bloodline to sorcerers, like the Zenzen family passed the 10 Shadows technique, or the Gojo family passed the famous Limitless technique to Gojo. Let's take on these techniques one by one. Passed by the Zenin family, it can summon 10 powerful Shikigami using shadows as the intermediary. You will see Megumi using it in every single battle. The Limitless technique was passed on by the Gojo family. This brings the concept of convergence and divergence of an infinite series into reality. This allows the user to freely manipulate space. The blood manipulation technique is used by the Kamo family. It allows the users to control blood inside and outside the body. Some users can even go down to the cellular level, making their abilities really deadly. Used by the Inumaki, this cursed spirit uses spoken words and forcibly makes the victims do as the words say. For example, if the user says stop, the enemy attacking would need to stop. Another technique of the Zenin clan is projection sorcery. This divides 1 second into 24 frames, allowing the users to trace a predetermined outcome. Anything touching the user will be frozen for 1 second inside the animation frame, leaving them completely vulnerable to being attacked. While the concept of innate techniques was previously accessible only to members of their respective families, non-inherited techniques can also manifest naturally. Even if someone is not from a specific clan, they can use certain techniques, as seen with Suguru Geto, Kanto Nanami, and Aoi Todo. These are original abilities that are derived from extension techniques. These techniques cannot be changed or altered, but if the users train, they can be further expanded. The prime example of this extension technique would be Gojo's Limitless expanding to blue and red. Nobara's resonance comes from her straw doll technique, and this technique applies her curse energy to her desired target. By placing a curse on the straw doll and hammering it with a curse energy infused nail, Nobara does critical damage to her opponents. Jogo's Ember Insect spawns from the volcanic hole on top of his head. These annoying pests can detonate themselves in a fiery explosion. Gojo uses red by using the positive energy that is generated from the reverse curse technique that produces the power to repel. Derived from the 10 Shadows technique, Megumi's technique creates multiple Toad Shikigamis. Nanami uses Collapse, which expands the effective hit zone of his innate technique. This allows him to deliver critical attack damage over a wide area. Kokichi's sword option comes with his puppet manipulation. He transforms the ultimate Machimaru's cursed corpse's arm into offensive form. This way, he can create multiple blades to attack his enemies. These are also Kokichi's techniques. Firstly, Boost On gives him elbow-mounted jet boosters, and lastly, Ultra Spin spins ultimate Machimaru's bladed hand after the sword option. This technique allows Kokichi to release a blast of destructive cursed energy attacks right from his palm. This attack lets Kokichi attack with a cannon, and this is also a preparation for his ultimate cannon attack. With this attack, Kokichi releases a large-scale blast, creating a lot of damage. Another Kokichi's technique, which grants him small spikes, gives him defensive abilities. Nobara uses her hairpin attack, which causes the energy stored within her nails to explode. By using the flowing red scale, Kamo increases his body temperature, pulse rate, and the number of red blood cells, increasing his physical abilities drastically. Crimson Binding can shape the user's blood into a large net by using this technique. Kamo immobilized a cursed spirit. With this attack, Kamo can manipulate the user's blood into the shape of a spinning chakram projectile. This way he can slice the opponents. Another Kamo attack, this technique compresses the user's blood into its limit. Therefore, the blood orb can be used to perform other extension techniques. As the name suggests, this technique allows its user to fire a beam from their hands after clapping around a bit. Purple is a secret technique only a few people from the Gojo clan know about. In this attack, Gojo produces a blast that can destroy anything that it collides with. Used by Eso and Kechizu, this attack creates a floral pattern on anyone who is exposed to their blood, and the tattoo quickly starts decomposing. With this blue technique, Gojo can amplify the amount of cursed energy used in the Limitless technique. Therefore, he can make any natural negative numbers come to reality, generating the power to attract things and control them. This includes people too. One of the most interesting ultimate mechanic mode attacks, Miracle Cannon, fires powerful beams of cursed energy. This technique causes the ultimate Mechamaru's mode to fire 5 big cursed energy bullets that'll chase its target until they hit. With a supernova attack, the user of blood manipulation can form blood orbs from convergence. This will shoot compressed blood everywhere like buckshot. We all remember this annoying attack from the idle transfiguration technique. Using soul multiplicity, Mahito can merge 1 or 2 souls together, fusing the 2 beings and creating a cursed spirit of his liking. By using soul multiplicity, Mahoti can increase the energy within souls for the future. Not only can this create stronger transfigured humans, but it also has better techniques and is greater in numbers. Maima uses Bird Strike using her Blackbird manipulation technique. This allows a crow to commit suicide and then go towards the enemy to deal with a devastating hit. With this extension technique, Choso shapes his blood into a ragged shape and rotates it at high speed, increasing the overall damage done to the opponent. This technique creates a piece of hardened blood and pierces through the opponent. Used by Mahito, Death Swarm matures the souls with weak rejection together to form an even powerful transfigured human. However, this human, although having explosive strength, is not as durable as other cursed humans. This attack transforms Mahito into his original form, making all of his stats, like strength and durability, much more than they already were. Uraome uses Fist Calm to create a frosted mist in his hand. Then she blows it toward the target to immobilize them. This attack is used by Momo, who can create a flying blade of gust to hurt her opponents. Another Uromi's attack, which creates a large amount of ice that she can telekinetically control. This attack summons 2 flying insect Shikigami that are carrying large sacks of substance. When they are released, they are destroyed and the substance can make the enemy's eyes hurt. Takako uses Thin Icebreaker, which hits the surface of the sky, shattering it, and then heavily attacks the opponent. This attack released a specialized blast of cursed energy with some of the most destructive power right from Rui's hair. With this technique, Hana controls a 4-winger trumpet that is made of light. Any curse that then bathes in this light gets distinguished. There are some extension techniques that reach their highest possible limit. These are not maximum techniques, but the already enhanced version of the extension techniques. This technique amplifies the magnetic effect of blue, attracting anything in the area on a much bigger scale. This attack increases the original flowing red scale, allowing the users to manipulate their blood internally, pushing through their limits. This attack intensifies the light Hana generated to the fullest, causing a bigger level of judgment over the enemy. This attack expands the original Frost Calm technique and increases its range, resulting in a bigger area being frozen. These techniques are extension techniques with the greatest potential of the Innate Technique. Outside the domain expansion, these are the strongest techniques any sorcerer could have. Geto's Maximum Uzumaki is deadly as it combines cursed spirits into the user's possession and hits their target with a blast of cursed energy far stronger than anything we've seen. SO Wing King creates wasp-like wings of blood that extend from the user's back. These wings can then be used for offensive purposes. Jogo uses Maximum Meteor, which manifests as a huge flame that he can throw at his opponent. This attack is so powerful that it can destroy a city. Then come the Non-innate techniques. These are techniques that any Jujutsu sorcerer or person could learn. These include barrier techniques, which users can use to employ barrier zones, often used for trapping people or cursed spirits. The other one is anti-domain techniques, which are the opposite of domain expansion. There are also secret arts, which are unique anti-domain techniques passed by the big three sorcerer families. These barriers can hide or deny entry to others. Anyone with enough cursed energy can deploy this barrier. Curtains are spherical shells that can conceal any jujutsu activity from non-sorcerers and cursed spirits. This is an innate domain that is manifested using cursed energy inside of a barrier. While domain expansion itself is an innate technique, the barrier surrounding it is non-innate and can be learned by anyone. These are hexagon-shaped panels that can change the structure of a given area by a skilled barrier technique user like Kenjaku. Tengen created many pure barriers all across Japan, which increased the precision of his cursed spirit suppression, along with buried techniques cast by the Jujutsu High Assistant Managers. Bond barriers are far superior to pure barriers. These use Tengen's existing pure barriers as a foundation. One such example of a bond barrier is Kenjaku's, which he used to host the infamous culling game. This technique is a predecessor of the simple domain, and it creates a spherical barrier that neutralizes an expanded domain's barrier. This technique was developed by Saratsuna Ashiya, and it is a domain for the weak. It neutralizes an enemy's can't miss attack by targeting their domain's barrier. This secret anti-domain is passed by the big three sorcerer families, and instead of expanding a domain, it counterattacks with cursed energy right at the moment a domain-related attack makes contact with the user. This attack nullifies any cursed technique that it comes into contact with, and the caster cannot use it and their innate technique at the same time. In the end, we have Shikigami Jutsu, that allows the user to control Shikigamis to aid them using a variety of methods. One such example is the 10 Shadows technique that Megumi uses. We also have Moondregs. And that's it, folks! We've just covered all the curse techniques in Jujutsu Kaisen. Comment down below which idea you would like to see next, and as always, subscribe to our channel and ring the bell icon to stay updated. I'll catch you next time.